They will think they are photos most of them. Are we all back? Even if you forget everything today, make sure I don't forget that. Because I'll ask and ask over and over, such that for you to graduate this week, you should remember 100% of those. Yes, don't look at me with that. You should remember that 100%, not even 99.9. So you have to make sure you will remember all the principles and how they operate and where they operate. Okay? All right.
Because when you want to do regenerative agroforestry, you need to follow these principles. When you don't follow them, you are not doing regenerative. You will see what it means. So we have roughly 10, or sometimes we tell 11, and you can add one or more. You want to be more precise, but the key thing is biodiversity, intensification, accumulation of plant material, stratification of planting in different layers, the natural plant succession. Certain plants, the pioneer plants, they disappear over time. So then you have a perennial photosynthesis, plant cover, permanent soil cover, you have a natural pest control, and you have an integrated animal housing. They are key to promote those systems. Without the cows, you will see it. It may go a little bit slower. With the cows, it's very fast. And then the economical part. You depend and you earn a lot through reproduction. So the reproduction leads to asset generation. And this is an important part of it. Now let's start with the pictures. Biodiversity in the system. What can you see here? Can somebody tell me the plants you can see here?
1, 2. Speak out loud. Papayas, banana 3, maize 4, Napier 5, Kejri. I hit it. That's Fidebia. But it's like Kejri, yeah. It's like a that's 6. Chili is 7. Who has that eye for detail? 7. In just one photo, minimum. And there are a lot you can't see. Turmeric is there. 8. Moringa. Yeah.
Can you see that the grasses, they are really integrated? Actually, only due to these grasses, the whole system was developing that fast. What do you think? How old is this picture? How old is this system?
1 year. Other guesses? What age do you think that system was? 2 years? Eh? 3 years? Oh man. 8 months?
2 years. 4 years. Look at the papayas.
Look at the papayas, look at the bananas, look at the grasses.
7 months.
That system was 7 months.
7 months. And you see the diversity and the biomass, the density actually is pushing the growth. Next, please. First, yeah. So what does diversity actually mean? It's not only about plants. We are also talking about animals. You guys in India, you could see how many wild animals that were coming back within 1 year. And it's only, why did they come back? Because they have food, they have a safe place where
Shelter, food, shelter.
yes. So, but all of a sudden you have all these wild animals back, and nobody
Like
was.
habitat.
Of course, the neighbors they were not happy with it because when you have porcupine or things like that, not everybody is happy with it. But the interesting thing was actually we have a lot of birds. And the interesting thing was also in the first year you have pests, and in the second year you don't have them anymore.
They reduce.
When the complexity starts to increase. And of course, the birds play a key role in pest control. They do 30% of the pest control is happening through the birds. So what are we doing when we are planting newly and we don't have trees? We set up a bird stand or several bird stands. Because when the birds cannot sit somewhere to pick up the insects, they will not remain for a longer time. And what else do we have to add that the birds remain? Water. We put a bowl of water below it. That means the birds can get water. They go up to the bird stand again, and then they can chase the insects. That's how we can influence the system at the very beginning. Next, please. You see that then what densification means. You see, people always think, how can things grow and be productive when you plant so dense? And people cannot believe that you can grow tomato in such a density. But it grows, it nicely grows. Why does it happen like that? Look once at the system. What can you see in this system? Left hand, right hand. What can you see? Look at the plant structure. Is everything on one level? Look at the dense structure where we have grasses in it, and a lot of different plants are growing at the same time. Is anyone at the same level, layer? See, at the beginning we have 5 layers at that height. Then after 3 months we have 5 layers at that height, and then after 1 year we have 5 layers at 2 meters or 3 meters high. So that the layer does not mean that you need 3-4 meters to have different layers. You can have it at the early stage, and you will have it because all of the plants, they have different crop duration, different speed. But what does the densification stimulate? Why is it stimulating? What do the plants need? Light. Light. So everybody, all the plants, they want to get light. So when you have neighbors that are competing with you with the light, so you try to grow faster. That's the stimulation process of the densification, the accumulation. Accumulating means from the moment when you are combining different plant types and different crop durations, the key thing actually is always planting everything together. Lucky can tell you a story what it means when you don't plant everything. The key thing is plant everything together because the root systems, they have to develop together. So it's key that you are developing the root systems together. Otherwise, they don't find their ways. One plant starts becoming dominant when you try to plant. You first plant eucalyptus and some other trees, and then you want to add the seasonal crops. It doesn't work. It doesn't function because eucalyptus is already too dominant when you let it grow. Next, please.
Yeah, you have a question? Yes, please.
The thing that if we have to plant, just plant everything. Then here comes the question. After assessing, and I plant again, this will grow.
Some you can, some you can't. Why?
What I'm saying,
Okay, I understood your question. So it depends on the system you are setting up. If you are setting up a system of annual crops, that means we establish it in a way that you have to replant until when you want to plant your annual crops. Examples of maize, beans, mention it. But by meaning plant everything together is when you want to have a muvule tree, which is Milicia excelsa, which is a very big tree, you have to plant it at the start together as you plant your beans. Don't first plant your system of mivule, leave them to grow for 10 years, come back and plant things. Usually it has established its roots and is dominant. So when we plant things together, that means densification at the start, which you will see, the roots find their different positions in this whole congestion. So when you come back to plant your beans, because you know those need the top, how many inches of soil? Very, yeah? 7 inches of soil, which the beans need, even that's too much. Even centimeters. So if you don't create that space from the start, it will be occupied by roots of these big trees. People in coffee know that. If you plant coffee alone at the start, you will find everywhere roots of coffee. That's the reality. And then before you know, you have a blanket of coffee roots. It is a hardy pan. So you are supposed to come back and plow your coffee field for you to plant beans. That's reality because I come from Masaka. I know how it works. But here, you don't need to do that because when you plant coffee at the start, you will see in our systems, you not even see coffee roots on top. And I can plant my bean next to the coffee because there is that space where I can plant my beans. So that's what we mean by planting things together at once. A full planting. Yes, please. Mm. Coffee. Mm. Mm. Okay. Albizia.
So that I plant coffee
Later.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's completely wrong from our experiments and practices. But there is a principle you so-called plant succession. So in plant succession, we think for the plants at every system, at every age, at every stage. So when I'm planting my coffee and it needs shade, of course, it needs shade when we just planted it. That's the toughest time. We have plants we use. Plants like cassava, plants like castor, to provide that quick shade. Meanwhile, I have my albizia planted there because I need shade of albizia in how many years? In the next from 5-6 years above. But within those years, my albizia will be not able to provide shade. But my coffee still needs. So I have to plant plants which have to provide shade for my coffee within those years as my albizia takes over. So that's where most monoculture farmers get it wrong. And you have spans of just 3 weeks and you're crying. 1, 2, 3 weeks. And you're crying because all your coffee is gone. No, not in Uganda. I would expect in India because they have 8 months, no rain. So we just have to know how to do it the right way. And this week, make sure you understand how to do that. Thank you.
so we can say by the monoculture, the plant root can affect to a particular level of the
root depth. And in agroforestry system, the plant roots of the tree will go depth and the perennial plant, the seasonal plant, will take upside of the row, up to 10 centimeter top layer.
Yeah.
So there is no competition between the root zone or microbes for their nutrient, water, and etc.
Yeah.
So the agroforestry system become beneficial not only for the microbes or soil health, it will also help increase the farmers' income.
Perfect. Well explained. And you will see that in certification.
Yeah.
Just in few minutes. You can continue.
Next. Here on the left-hand side, we have an example from India, and you can see that desert plants are combined with grasses and other crops, and they don't have any problem together. And you see actually that the cacti, they are growing better than being as a standalone plant. So plants are like human beings, they like companions. They don't like to be lonely guys. So when you are planting densify next to the cacti, you also see fennel, which is a very interesting and important plant. Can be used for 5-6 years. You can chop them and they regrow. So it's again, it's not only the density as such, it must be the combination density and diversity. You need to have the 2D. Otherwise, when you only have density, it does not yet mean that you are solving your problems. Next, please. This is also on the right-hand side. We have re-densified an existing tree system. And you could see that actually the trees, they were growing much nicer once they had the companions at the lower level. And everything grows in the shade of the trees. This is a typical thing people don't believe, but the hotter it is, the more you need to plant under the trees. Not only you should, you need. In Namibia, we have detected that actually even when you irrigate, whatever is under the canopy of a big tree, it grows, it produces fruits. Whatever is outside, it doesn't grow in the same way. Same climate, but the tree is protected. Next, please. So the stratification, as I have started explaining already, we are choosing, when we are planning, we are choosing the different plants, the different trees, by understanding what will be the final height, the final canopy size of the plant. Like this we are planting. So when we have a taller tree, we need more distance between the same plant. When we take a Fiderbia, we may need 25 meters until we have the next Fiderbia, because their canopy can be 25 meters at the end. So so we are looking at each layer, we are looking at what is the normal spacing between the same plants, that they don't touch each other. That's a key thing for the natural pest control. So we start thinking and analyzing carefully what is the commercial setup of banana. It's 3 meters normally. So we know that our banana here, they are different from the Cavendish type of banana. So, and also here you can see we have plantain that grows 6 meters tall. This is from Nigeria. This is 2 years, and you look at the soil 2 years after planting in sand, you have this kind of soil. Key thing what you are going to learn is how to plant, how to plan, to put the different trees of different canopy sizes together, that they become a line. Why are we working on lines? Do we have permaculture guys here? Who is doing permaculture? What is the difference between permaculture and our agroforestry system, which is based on 3 lines? Yes. Do you know how many plants you have in permaculture? Yes.
Like on your field.
how many people will actually grow the plant. I think it's all similar. The only small difference is that
we structure the system. Why are we structuring the system for the farmer?
We structure the system because we want to allow
Yes, that's one reason, but we still have an economical reason why we are planting like that. When it comes to labor, when it comes to harvesting, it's much easier to harvest in lines than having a random structure. When you have a permacultural setup, and chili is one of your key commercial products, you are walking 10 meters from one chili plant to the other chili plants, but we are trying to line up that it is easy to harvest. So that we are looking at. It's not only, we first look at nature, because if nature doesn't work, economy also doesn't work. So, but it is important, our lines, the line system comes basically from in your landscape that you can harvest. So we will see what it means when you want to have papaya, banana, mangoes, avocados, and such kind of things when you want to plant them together. So you will learn, and then you will have to design how to plant. That is something that in this afternoon you start observing in the field. How did they plant? What is the distance between different plants? So when we have commercial mango system, we know it's 5 meters distance. Why is it 5 meters? Depends on the canopy. We don't want that the canopies are touching each other. Okay. This is a picture from a green island, and only 1/3 of the farm is irrigated. The rest is not irrigated. Nigeria has 7 months dry season. 7 months dry season. Between 20 and 45. So quite harsh. This was our first goal. But you see how the environment looks like in the surrounding. All the oak trees, what you see there are mango trees. That's the only tree they leave because it's delivering food.
Sir, which type of vegetation you
We have, these are all densified structures. We have Indian type of combination with banana, papaya, ginger, turmeric. We have eucalyptus-based structures with banana, and so we have combined a lot of different system approaches. So we have fodder specific. We have specific systems where mango trees play a key role. So we have integrated all the different systems. But the key thing is you need to have permanent photosynthesis. When you don't have permanent photosynthesis, you can't keep the moisture in your land. That's important. Down here, everything was dense. You have tomato, banana, you have basil, everything is. You can see insects. You can see all insects, see pests. No big damage. And that's always the story. People come and say, this is going to see, then they already have a pest. But an insect is not a pest. Because each insect is food for the next level of animal.
a natural animal?
Yes, the birds. When we kill the bird, the birds. The main food anyway. So it is very important that we try to balance a system, that we attract predators at the same time, balancing good guys and bad guys. I am worried when I don't see insects anymore in our system. I am worried because I know the next problem is coming. So we observe carefully that we find a lot of different kinds of insects because they actually help us. And a lot of plants, they have repellent functions, they have attracting functions. We still will see that. The integrated animal, our most impressive actually in how you will just see it. The animals, why are the animals so important? What is cow dung? Full of life, yes.
Range of very good soil improver.
What result is cow dung? It is the result of digestion, fermentation. Ferment picked up by plants much easier. So they give you 2 liters, 3 liters. When they are very good, it comes. They give you 2 liters, 3 liters. When they are very good, it comes up to 5 liters. But the quality is up to 5 liters. But the quality of this milk is completely different compared with the milk of. So animals and that's what you can eat. At that area, you can drink residues. You can have and we will see that when it comes to the economy, what that actually means. We can reduce the amount of land that is needed to feed a cow massively. And we just go for grazing. Grazing would be an ideal thing, but it depends on the amount of cows you have to feed. We see that in my country. Nowadays, you see, when they want to. The most impressive thing here from the city where we have stood there, it was like concrete. They have dug some swales to pick up the water. And then 2 years later, it looks like this, as you see it. We did not plant one tree. We did not sow one tree. Just using it. How does it work? You put a little bit fodder on the dry land. You first let the cows in the forest, they are eating the leaves. They stay overnight in one place. They urinate and they drop the cow dung. Next day, the next block. Regenerating forests with cows without planting. This is a 350 hectare farm, and at least 100 hectares have been regenerated with cows. This is extremely impressive, and of course we have other aspects. Next, please. So the microbial stimulation is the key aspect of cows. So they help us to. We will try to show here examples where you don't even use cows. You don't even use cow. You can also do it. But we also want to show that we start learning the impacts of fermented products on the fertilization. So we'll come to that level. But the cows, you see what the cows, they give you something that helps you to fertilize your land, to mobilize the microbial situation. They produce milk or meat. You have multiple impacts of it. So economically, they are extremely interesting. They help to save costs, and they give you a financial stability. But before you can have cows, you need to have the fodder. So you must make sure that you first have the grasses. But for very fast biomass production, the cows, we can see that in the desert. There we are using Jivamrut root, a mixture of cow dung, cow urine, pea flour, sugar, and water. It's a fermentation process, but it comes from the cow. And it helps to boost the whole development of that. So the cows are the most precious animals. But We will also show it. We can do it with goat manure. We can do it with sheep manure. We can do it with chicken manure. But it's never the same because these animals are also not eating the same. And the cow gives you a lot. The goat, you have to collect quite a lot until you get a substantial amount of. So one important aspect of integrating the animals is actually also to reduce the amount of land that is needed to have a cow or to have animals. So that's an important aspect. And the number of cows always should be related to the size of your land. We normally say when you want to have an integrated system where you have a system plus cows, you have 2 cows per hectare. When you have a system cows plus some other items, then you see the fodder you need for 1 cow is roughly 1,000 square meters in this tropical situation, because you can cut very quickly. So you change your approach, you combine in a different way your plants. But at any time, your food. And we know from a proper calculation, you need about 2,000 square meters to feed a family of 5 in this condition, not in the desert. It's a little bit different. So these are all things you need to have certain experience, background information that you can calculate. Now the reproduction is one of the key aspects. When you look at the napier grasses, how much napier can you multiply in 1 year? When you're planting one, you say one cutting, you are planting it. How much do you get after 1 year? Suggestion?
Minimum one cutting, we multiply 50.
50?
Minimum 50.
Yeah, with their napier, yes, 50. We have banana grass in Zimbabwe, you get 500. Because it grows 6 meters tall in 6 months. So it depends on the grass variety you have, but napier here, like 100 cuttings. So that's an average. So how much do you of grass?
150.
Cents. So how much is the value after 1 year? $5. $5. Did you have to do anything for it? Not really. And now when you are multiplying this one, these 100 pieces, how much do you get one year later? Calculation, guys. It's economy. Start learning about economy. When you don't calculate, you don't know where you can earn your money. 100 times 100 is 10,000. So $5 times 100 is how much? $500. What was your investment 2 years ago? 5 cents, from 5 cents to $500 in 2 years. Bring 5 cents to your bank and ask them how long it lasts until you get 500. You will not get it throughout your life. So nature is doing it for you. This is reproduction. And we have a lot of other plants we can multiply. You will see it in the field and you will understand how important actually the reproduction is. You can transform your land starting small and multiplying your main plants within 2 years maximum, and you are at a level where you can run your farm. This is banana grass on the left hand side. It grows 6 meters.
This is the Indian one.
On the right hand side, this is the Indian one. That's what Anas was mentioning. When you see it's extremely dense, It's excellent for fodder because it does not have the hardy stem. The banana grass, it has a hardy stem. But you see, we think cows cannot eat these hardy stems. Huh? Yes, the milk animals, they don't eat it. But a lot of cows, they eat it. We saw it also on your farm. The cows, and you saw it in Nigeria, the white Fulani cows, they love to chew on the straw. It's like chewing gum for them. They don't have a problem. Yeah. You see the root material. What do you think is growing faster? What do you think is growing faster? When you divide the rootstock or when you take a cutting? The rootstock grows faster. So a lot of people, they only want to buy rootstock material, but they have to pay more. So you have to charge 10 cents instead of 5 cents. Actually, 5 cents is too low. In Nigeria, when I started with the grasses, I was investing $250 into grass cuttings and seeds. 3 years later, I was selling grasses to the Nigerian government for $35,000. You can try to grow vegetable in the same time, you will not earn the same amount. And you have nothing to do with it. That was the key thing. You let it grow. You let it grow, not even fertilizing anything. It grows like that on sandy soil. So, next please. One of the most important things, whatever we do, we have to think in a system and not just plant-wise. We are not looking at the individual plants only. The plant is always part of a whole system. So we need to know a lot about the plants, but we always need to consider what is the impact on a system. That's an important thing. Now you look at the situation. You see on the left-hand side, you have a structure in Malawi. It's called parkland system. These are scattered trees. You know what kind of trees these are? Mainly Fiderbia. What does it mean, Fiderbia? Fiderbia is a very special tree. You see it on the right-hand side here. And have 25 meters of canopy. Look at how things are growing under these trees, much better than anybody else. What is the special thing of Fiderbia? It loses the leaves in the rainy season and it covers the situation in the dry season. So it's one of the most popular. It's a fodder tree. It's a nitrogen fixing tree. This is one of these important trees we have to work with. But at the beginning, you see, we had university professors who came to visit our farm in Malawi. And we showed them under the big trees, we had banana, we had papaya, we had chilies, we had ginger and turmeric, all growing nicely, producing fruits under these trees. The professor went back and was writing an article and saying, these people still don't understand that you can't produce under the tree. Yes. Sometimes even seeing is believing does not help. No?
We don't understand. We accept.
And then I said, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Next, please.
Question?
Yes, please.
I would like to know, because I've ever tried to grow crops under trees, under coffee plantations, most especially beans and maize. When you try to grow those crops, it is true they germinate, but unfortunately they don't bear
The productivity.
They don't produce, they don't bear fruits. How best can I do it the way you have done it?
Okay, we'll answer that question tomorrow. Tomorrow we are doing what's called planning. And yes. I think answering it today, you won't understand well. Yes. Let us wait tomorrow. If you still have that question by the end of tomorrow, test me from here.
Okay.
Okay, next.
Okay, the most important thing actually is we have thousands of options to combine plants. You can react to your local needs, to your local preferences you have. There is a solution for any kind of need of a farm. But you need to think in a more complex way than just having 5 different plants. We normally, the minimum we normally work in our system is something like 20 to 30 plants. So that's an important thing to look at. But you can see whether we are in the tropics, whether we are in the desert, we always have possibilities to combine plants that fit together. And I'm always wondering when people tell me, this does not grow with this one. Then I said, yeah, then I have to plant it. Because what our experience is that all these common principles that were actually growing out from monocultural systems, they do not work and they do not function in the same way when you have a complex system. So experiment. But you will see it down here in the fields, and we can always find combinations. Our projects are in Tanzania, we are at 2,000 meters. Here we are at 1,200. In Namibia, we are at 1,400. Zimbabwe, 100. India, we are at 300. So we can, in all different climate zones, we can actually, in Nigeria, we are at 600. In Malawi, we are at 600, 700. So, and you see, in Malawi, people also said, you cannot grow coffee there because we are in the dry zone. We have wonderful coffee there. Wonderful coffee. People still tell today, they say, you can't grow coffee. In Nigeria, they said, you can't grow coffee here. You can't grow cinnamon here. You can't grow cacao here. It's all growing nicely. Just combine it.
I think
Create a microclimate.
I think they are right. You can't grow them in their monoculture systems.
Yeah. Now just keep that one. You see when you are all these plants here, they are mainly desert plants. These are pictures from Jodhpur. Now, the latest research I have seen from Brazil, they are now suggesting take the microbes, isolate the microbes from these desert plants and combine them with your maize, then your maize can survive the drought. Then I was thinking, that's the next business idea, but I think we can do it in a much easier way. So why don't we plant the cacti next to our maize here? Because then I have all the microbes that are related and I'm not isolating. You see, isolation is a preferred subject at the university. You try to identify the good guys. These are the good bacteria. So we want to multiply the good. What happens when you only multiply the good? You create the next pest. Because you don't have a balance. And too much, only good, when you eat a tablet against headache and you don't have a headache, what happens? Next time you have a headache and you need the tablet, it doesn't work. You can't only work with the good guys. You have to look at balancing the good guys and the bad. Next, please. In Nigeria, we have extreme weather conditions. We have had thunderstorm, 200 kilometer wind speed, and this farm was flat. We have been there at the same time. We know what a storm with 200 kilometer wind speed for 40 minutes means. Everything was flat. But 6 months later, everything looked better than before. Because we had so much biomass that came back to the soil, everything was growing much better. But what we can see here now with these extreme weather conditions, heavy rainfall, heat, look at the system. This is now Nigeria last year. This is how the system looks. Very healthy. It's 7 years old now, and everything works. So the densified planting systems, they help you to work with temperature mitigation and the humidity mitigation, that you can control drought and flood. So it's important that you really densify. And you see the system on the left-hand side, it's a non-irrigated system with banana, where you have 7 months of dry season. And the bananas are very productive. But you see, we always have plant cover. That's important. This. Learning from the arid zones, we have seen that already. We have similar problems. It's how to deal with too much water. In the desert, they irrigate too much. In the tropics, we have too much rainfall. And there's one solution. It's biomass and diversity. That's how we can solve the problem. And this is one of the principles of regenerative agroforestry. So we have, for extreme solutions, for extreme situations, we have our solutions. And they are all the same. Again, we have seen that. You see in Zimbabwe how it was grown. Now, this was the starting point, sand. And this one grows without fertilization. Next, please. This is 350 hectare farm. These are the demonstration plots where we have set up different approaches how to densify. Next, please. This is a situation where we have showcased to the farmer. They are all maize farmers. And they refuse to plant anything else, maybe a bean. That would be already great. But 90% of all the farmers in Malawi, they just want to plant maize because they only eat maize. But no farmer can earn money with maize. I don't know one. Not even the big farmers. They only earn maize because of subsidies, but they don't earn money with maize. Here we have showcased to the farmer integrating tree lines. You see, they have planted the maize, and you have 3 lines every 16 meters. And here, the maize survived the drought, the maize survived the flood. They started realizing that there must be an impact from the trees. And the key thing actually is, you see, when you have trees, you have fungi. The fungi, they help you to transport nutrients and water over much longer distances. So all the maize in between the tree lines has benefited from it. Next, please. So these are again demonstration fields. So this is the coffee in Malawi. And soursop also very, very nice. And they said you can't grow these things there. Next, please. This is Nigeria once more.
Island.
It is really dry surrounding the farm. We are a green island. Next, please. So the example from India on the right-hand side, you see the farm of an organic farm. He has started integrating and multiplying. And you see here the grasses, again, they play a key role. It's actually due to the grasses, the whole system developed nicely in these extreme climates. Next. So, you see, you can work with the landscape however you like to have it. When you have steep contours, you work with the contours. You don't have straight lines. You follow the contours. So you have a lot of options. You can follow on terraces. You are always able to set up a system, whether you have to work with straight lines or but the key thing is to work with lines, because it helps you a lot to structure the lines. Next, please. On the right-hand side, you see what you will need to do during this week. You will have to develop a design. How do you want to plant? And then you need to calculate how many plants can I get on 1 acre or 1 hectare. And then you need to tell me something or us something about what you want to learn. So we will come to that level. But the key thing again is you have the full flexibility. When you say, I want to go for pineapples as a main product, you make a design that is mainly including the pineapple. When you want to go mainly for coffee, you are creating a system where you have the optimum number of coffees. So we will go through such kind of things. We will give you some tasks at the beginning, and then in the second trial, you have to design your own system. So we have a lot of different approaches, however we can build up different systems. Here we have set up a lot of school gardens. This is an aerial view from Lucky's farm. What you see in these lines are grasses. Why are we planting grasses along the roads? Why are we planting grasses along the roads?
Animals and
It can be an aspect, yes.
Speak out loud, louder.
We can harvest easily.
Yes.
You see, when you have 10 cows on this farm, you have a three-wheeler. You drive with the three-wheeler. You don't need to enter into systems and carry the grass for 50 meters. Like this, it's a question of organizing, structuring your farm in an economical way that you can manage it. We don't want to create more work than necessary. We want to have a structure that allows to manage the farm with the least amount of people. As it is. So we have set up community gardens and woodlots. You will see we have examples here. Next, please. So these are school gardens. We have a project, an outreach project where we have tried to set up models for different approaches. As he has mentioned in with the communities, but here you can see the system of school gardens. And this is really something nice. I like that with the school. So we can have medicinal approaches when we are basically producing medicinal plants as a key product. I must say in Malawi, the ginger and the turmeric production, I've never seen anything. 1.5 kg per plant. Just because of the cows. Because of the cow. So now we are looking a little bit ahead, because the next thing that will come is One Health. And you will see everything starts with soil health. So when we are talking about a One Health system, the farmers will play the key role. Now imagine in the future, when people are talking about healthcare, they first of all have to talk about the agriculture of the farm. What would that mean for the social status of the farmer? That will change the social status of the farmer dramatically. I'm 100% sure. We are now trying to set up a concept together with the Ayurvedic University. This is a medicinal university, and building up an edible campus where we showcase how to grow your food, how to deal with your soils. And then you see we have all these impacts: soil health, ecosystem health, plant health, human health, animal health. It's all starting with the soil health, with the agricultural practices of the farm. But this is for the future. Maybe one day we can do that in Uganda as well. I hope so. I think we are. Last one.
I'll continue.
That's
more photos.
You have three situations when I am asking farmers, can we grow something under bamboo? Everybody will tell me no, nothing grows under bamboo. I agree if you plant the bamboo first and you try to plant something later on. But here, this is from Nigeria, and you can see we are planting turmeric under the bamboo, and it grows nicely. Why is it possible? Because when we planted the bamboo, we have surrounded it with pigeon pea, with cassava, with all different kinds of plants. So the roots of the bamboos, they went further down. The same, what we have discussed with eucalyptus. Surround it with fast-growing plants, and the roots will go deep. And now we can plant under the bamboo whatever we like. Every year we can. And then you see on Lucky's farm last year, we had this nice photograph. When you ask, can you plant a banana in the bamboo? Everybody will tell you no. And you still see no. It depends. It depends. You can plant it. And now on the right-hand side, this is maybe even more impressive. We have a Fiderbia that has a trunk of about 1 meter diameter. It's an old tree. And we have papaya that grows almost on the stem. It's 1 feet away from the stem. People always think, such huge tree, you cannot plant anything next to the stem. Look at that. This papaya is fruiting, grows. So think the impossible. Don't think we can't do this, we can't do this. Experiment. Nature will guide you. Next, please. Still a few words about the economy. The key thing is we have 4 pillars actually. 3 of them, they are functioning. A 4th, we are trying to build up. The first thing is you have your products. That's the common income generation. The second thing is you have reproduction. And I tell you, in most of the farms, we earn more money with reproduction than we are earning with the production. What means reproduction? You have seen the grasses. We can multiply a lot of plants like Claricedia, legumes, we can multiply them. We can sell them, or we invest it in our own land, then we save the money. So the second pillar is reproduction. That's a plant nursery we are actually building up with our own farm. You will see that here too. And then the third one is asset generation, value addition. The more trees you are adding on your land, the more the land value is increasing. And you see when you are planting trees, that mahogany or something like that, what does that mean? It's your pension fund. When you retire, you cut down a tree, and then you can live. So asset generation, value addition is an important thing. And you see asset generation and reproductive asset generation is always the most interesting thing because it multiplies on your own farm. So what are the reproductive assets? Grasses, trees, cattle. These are the 3 reproductive assets. Think about that because we will still discuss about that in the economy. We are also starting now trying to build up a gold system for the young people that they can start building up assets. The biggest mistake that is made currently when we discuss about agriculture, everybody is discussing about income only. But our priority is on asset generation because this is adding security to the life of it. The social cultural values, you see, we are, the guys here in BLI, they start marking the trees now because they want to get carbon credits. You see that the farmer is doing a lot of social work for the people in the city, not only producing the food, but when it comes to the climate impacts, when it comes to water supply systems, it's the farmer in the rural area that is actually doing the social work. When it comes to healthcare, it's the farmer who is steering healthcare massively. But the farmer is not getting any kind of service. So what we are trying to do more and more to create awareness on the political level that there should be a transfer payment from the people living in the city to the people living in the rural areas. So that's our thing. See this guy here, that's from Malawi, but the cow dung makes this possible. Without the cows, we would never have this kind of productivity. And you see in Malawi, they are now saying, this is a papaya that has
150.
150 papaya on one. So you can see what that means. So the asset generation, I was already talking. Multiplication, you have seen this example. But also with the goats, and the goats are the fastest multiplying assets when it comes to animals because they reproduce faster than the cows, and you need a lower investment. So it is foundation for the transformation. That's more for the people who work on organizational level. So you need to have a training center. You need to have the possibility where you can educate the people. So that's what we are trying to do here. The second thing is you need to have a plant material. You guys, when you go back, you all have the same problem of the missing plant material. So what we need to do is building up more plant nurseries and increasing the number of plant nurseries here, that we can also serve the people in other areas with the necessary plant material. Then we need to invite the people to come and see. Bishop has been here. Slowly the church may understand something. For me, I'm a bit the bad guy for the church. I'm always sitting in the neck, so they don't like me very much. But you see, agriculture is not functioning from Monday to Friday. So we work 7 days a week, not 5 days. Because nature is not going to wait. When it's raining, you have to plant. If it's not raining, you have to take care of the agriculture is not a 5-day work. So you need to organize your farm that you are able to take care of nature 7 days. So agroforestry begins with inspiring people. And our power ladies down there, we have the first proof now with Mr. Coffee that he got inspired by the power ladies. So we can see. Look! I really recommend you just apply on their channel. You will be surprised how many clicks they already get for their videos. People start paying attention. The most surprising thing is, you see, these ladies, they are now working for 2.5, 3 years together with us. You are explaining things, what is happening in the system. It is just amazing. So for me, they are the biggest sign. They are the hope for the young generation. And we really need the young you see, I'm an old guy. I cannot mobilize the young guys because I cannot dig anymore. Huh? So the young guys need to mobilize the young guys. And when we have the opportunity of these young, charming ladies, they also know how to present themselves. We are creating an environment where people start paying attention. They see that these 4 young ladies can do that they haven't been at the university. There is no academic education needed for that. But they know a lot about the system. Every time when I come back, I'm really surprised what these young ladies know from the details. So congrats, ladies. You're here tonight. We heard it at the very beginning. Plant your future, otherwise you don't have. This is my view on if the young generation wants to have a future, you have to plant it. If you don't do that, you will not be able to eat your computers. That is something you need to do. So, thank you so much.
Let's give him a more deserving round of applause, guys. Thank you so much, Papa Roland. You see, when you enter here, you are definitely not sure of what is coming. You start, okay, monoculture, deficit, okay, principles. By the end of the first 2 hours, you are slowly entering into the system and seeing the magic. Thank you so much. That was really very good, eye-opening remarks and presentation. Slide 7.4 about the transformation. I want to stress that, especially the people. Go behind, say 7.3. Yes, 7.3. For the people who are working with communities. Madam, I see you right? There was the guys from North, from Kotido and Arua. Man, this is what you need. Because people, especially as farmers, believe by seeing. And that's our principle as APN. We first set up demonstration plots. Really, that when you come, I don't need to explain a lot. Your eyes are the biggest. Your head helps you explain to yourself. And that's how the transformation is supposed to. From the demonstrations, now you need the plant materials, then you do awareness building, and then you do outreaches. Never makes sense to do outreach without materials, without capacity. Never. Because you will flop, it will flop. People will ask for plant materials and you don't have any. So you find yourself doing half-baked systems. And 1 year later, they fall down, and then you start saying, no, it doesn't work. When the problem is yours, not the system's problem. So thank you so much. I wanted to make sure that I make this a point for us to echo at the end of it all. As I said during the presentation, forget everything. Don't forget the principles. You are going to really need those principles for the rest of your life if you choose this path. I think this brings us to the end of this session, and we are going for a lunch break for the next 1 hour and how many, 45 minutes. And where are we going to have our lunch? Down at the guest house where we slept, right? Bon appetit. So the next session after lunch, we will set off from St. Francis. So the BLI team, you will have to get the people at St. Francis.
Come on, down.
Hello, welcome to the first day of the agroforestry training of trainers workshop here at BETHANY Learning Institute. It already started and the thing is really amazing. Let me first introduce for you someone and we see how they are really Enjoying. Hi.
Hello,
Your name, please.
I'm Ronald.
How has been the first session of the first?
It is really amazing. Really amazing.
Are you already changing? Are you already feeling some transformation?
Like expected. I'm really excited to be among the women.
Okay, wow, that's really great. Thank you so much. And it's just the first day. Hi. Can I get something from you, please? Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
Your name, please.
Yes, Stuart Musima is my name. I'm,
Okay.
I'm from Kampala University, and I'm glad to be with Bethany Land Institute and APL at large.
So, how is your experience just on the first day?
My experience have confirmed the impossibilities are possible.
Wow. Thank you so much. Hi, Priyanka. You can't dodge me, please. Hi. So your name, please, and where you come from?
Myself, Priyanka. I'm from India and I am working as a botanist in APN.
Okay. Have you ever attended any agroforestry workshop?
No, it's my first.
So, how is your experience just on the first day?
It was amazing. Like I was just listening Roland and he was just showing the interesting things and interesting.
Okay, thank you so much. Stay tuned. We are still continuing. It is just the first day. Tomorrow we are having the second day, and it is going to be for 7 days. It's a full week.
You're not adding the word.